Alright, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Aesop Grim here, and this is the continuation of my blind playthrough of RDR2 in 2025. And you can see that Arthur is doing average in his weight. And the time looks like late afternoon. If I could get a time check. There we go. No, it's morning time. Okay, 9:26 a.m. So this is, hold on, let me get Arthur's normal outfit on. I think it's, LB to use. Oh, was that set camp? Outfits, custom outfit. That didn't work. It's like he doesn't have custom outfits loaded. There we go. Put his hat on. Well, that throws a kink in my plans, guys. We got to go back to camp. So this is Friday's episode, and so it is supposed to be a chill episode. We'll have to see if anything kind of auto starts when we get to camp here. I don't know that it will. I just noticed that we have 2 yellow markers here. But what we're wanting to do is I need to get 2 perfect elk hides. One of them will complete the mats that I need for the tonics pouch satchel. And I'm going to need another one later on for another satchel that I also need additional parts for. And where we're going to go to do that, here's Valentine on the map. Let's zoom out. It's a little bit easier for you to tell. Over west of Valentine, there's this place called Wallace Station. And northeast of that is this place right here, Cattail Pond. And you can see there's an elk picture there. I just now noticed that myself, so wherever there might be elk pictures, that's where we would want to go. So anyway, that's the plan. So let's go ahead and head on into camp, because I need to make sure we have all of our outfits on the horse in case we get into high country and I need to put warmer clothing on. I have been playing Warhammer 40k Dark Tide quite a lot lately, and I mentioned this in another episode where I said I was not very familiar with 40k, but my cousin has been really big into it for quite a long time, and he gifted me Dark Tide back when it very first came out. And I played it a little bit then, but was so detached from the lore and stuff, it was lost on me. And on top of being a new game in these days, or for quite a long time now, actually, the business model is to release a game and patch it over time.
Welcome back, Arthur.
Didn't used to be that way. Used to be that quality control was really good for a game, because once you released it and put it on the store shelves, that was it. But with the internet, you can do all that stuff live now and use your customer base as testers. So that's kind of how it's gone. I'm not even really throwing shade at that. I'm just saying it's different, you know.
Alright, don't get all worked up.
Okay, that's right.
Military man, Mr. Williams. Sure was. Cavalry. That's so. Sure. Oh, real impressive. Always impressed by folks who make sacrifices.
All right. So, outfits. This outfit is suitable for hot temperatures. So these are all pre-made. I'm kind of forgetting how I did this. Can be lost when stored on a horse. See, they didn't,
Running, killing, and running some more.
Listen, these are tough times, of course, but now this is when we have to be ourselves.
Yeah, my old stuff is not here anymore. Well, I guess let's do something quick. Go to, what is this? Suitable for hot, suitable for hot, suitable for cold. Hot, average. Okay, we're going to, I guess, save this. Saved custom.
How are you?
Store on horse. I might have just messed that all up. Okay, store that on horse. And store this on horse. And that's what I want to wear. And that's what I have on. Okay. Well, this is a pretty horse here. Where's my horse? Alright, now I want to make sure I've got the weapons I need also. Okay. Gone far enough there. Looks like yes. The rolling block. And the bow. There we go. Let's mark our map with where we want to go. What are you? You're just a regular, I guess you're a buck. You're probably a pronghorn. Boar, rabbits, wolves. Oh, this is a legendary, I bet. 'Cause the crown. Heartland. Citadel Rock, Valentine, Wallace Station. Here's Black Bear. And we're going to head up here. Okay, so like I was saying, I've been playing a lot of Warhammer 40k Darktide. And I've got a level 30 Ogren tank. On March 25th, they're going to redo the talent points for Ogren, which hopefully is going to address his problem that he evidently has at higher difficulty levels. I've not seen that myself yet because I haven't gone higher than difficulty level 3. I forget what it's called. Malice, I think. But it's difficult level 3. That's my highest level. I tried difficult level 4 on my Ogren tank and got completely wrecked. So it didn't work out well. And then I've got a level 12 veteran and a level 17 zealot that I've been working on a lot lately. He's really starting to come into his own now. And I've enjoyed that zealot quite a bit. Then I've got a psyker, but he's only level 1. I haven't dabbled with him at all. Frankly, I look at his talent tree and get a little bit intimidated, so I'll probably save him for last. Sorry guys. I was a little bit hands-free there.
Yep.
And I had my mic muted. But today was the start of the Steam spring sale. So this being Thursday, I'm recording this Thursday night. I just got done raiding Naxxramas with my World of Warcraft SOD guild, Season of Discovery. And so because it was on sale, it was 35% off, and I've really quite enjoyed Darktide quite a lot.
Yeah.
I went ahead and got Space Marine 2. And I've only played the introductory mission so far, but one of the things that sold me on this game was I saw a review that said that its campaign did a really good job of explaining background and context for people who were new to Warhammer 40K. And so far, now, I am new, but I've been listening to lore whenever I go to sleep at night. Not every single night, but a number of nights. So I kind of get it over time. A lot of these lore videos are anywhere from an hour and a half to 6 hours long. And so I've learned stuff over time, and I feel like I've got enough knowledge now where whenever I fire up a game like Space Marine 2, the stuff that it's talking about, I understand it. You know, like, have you ever heard somebody speak in your native language, and you understand every word that they used, but you still don't know what they said? You know, like, I think about college courses that I've stepped into before, where I hear the instructor tell me what things, like what we're going to be learning, and I know all the words that he said, but it still doesn't make no sense to me because I haven't been through the class yet, right? He's just kind of laying it out, what the class is about at a high level early on, right? And then telling us, now don't worry, by the time you're done with this class, you will understand completely what I just said, right? So that's how sometimes 40K is. That's the way Darktide was for me whenever my cousin first got it for me. I mean, I heard them talking about stuff, and I understand what the word emperor means, and is that it? I think that's an elk. You know, but I didn't really know what they meant. 1-star white-tailed buck. Okay. Well, now I'm starting to really kind of get a handle on, at least from a 20,000 foot perspective, what this universe is about, how some things came into being, how stuff operates, what people believe. And so whenever I play Space Marine 2, even though it's just the introductory mission, and I listen to everything that's being talked about there, I've really enjoyed the fact that they're telling you, you know, they're explaining things to you and not assuming that you know it. And I have enough base knowledge that all of that stuff makes sense to me instead of just being words.
Yeah.
So it's been a nice experience.
Hey, partner.
Hey. I think we're coming up on this pond. How are we doing as far as player status? Well, we're still average. Surprised. Also, I don't trust it. So I'm gonna eat an apple. Alright, looks like we still got a little ways to go. This is a river, not a lake. We're not as far as I thought we were. So I played that opening intro mission for Space Marine 2. And I died a lot. I started out on the recommended difficulty level. I forget what it is. There's 4 difficulty levels and it's number 3. And it was a good time, so probably gonna play a little bit more of that tonight. I saw an article today that I thought was real interesting.
Lily May. Lily May, you think you're so great.
I'm gonna leave that alone. And then I heard one of the people I listen to on a daily basis echo the same thing that was in the article, and without using the article as a source. So it's like, to me, that's 2 vectors of information that have arrived at the same conclusion, seemingly unrelated vectors. So I usually consider that to be important. The more unrelated vectors of information that you can get, sources, maybe I should use the word sources, where it doesn't seem like they're working with each other, they're not in each other's circles, there's no reason they would know what each other are saying. If they come to the same conclusion, the more you have of that, the more it makes me think that there's probably at least some truth to it. Multiple people unrelated to each other in different fields reaching similar conclusions off the data available. And the thing I saw said that Democrats are in a lose-lose situation when it comes to the continuing resolution bill. And basically, in a nutshell, the way that this is looking is that they have to choose between 2 very bad choices for them. Either they can go with option 1. Oh, legendary animal. Okay. Option 1 is to pass the bill. That's an elk. That is an elk, right?
Whoa, easy.
2-star Rocky Mountain Bull elk. Okay, so it is. But we need a 3-star. But the problem that they face if they pass it is that they have whipped up their base so much to be absolutely rip-roaring angry and scared and terrified about Elon Musk and Doge. That if they were to pass that bill and continue funding all of that, including ICE as well. Maybe we don't need to be... We can go around this way. It's going to send them right over the edge, because this is how Democrats work. It's the tactic that's... I'm not making fun of anybody here. I think each side... I think there's social engineering happening at a very high level in America, and it's happening to everybody. This is why I'm such a fan of the idea that the line no longer cuts vertically separating left from right. It's horizontally separating the mass population from the elites. Because whenever you view it that way, you can recognize that there are bad people on both sides in the political class that are doing terrible things to the rest of us for their own purposes, right? Their own enrichment. Now, within that context, it seems exceptionally clear to me that these people are two things. Number one, they are globalists, meaning that you have an international group of these people that are making these kinds of things happen. There's a ton of money and cooperation in the background, and it's really kind of, to borrow a term from the left, it's fascist in nature because it's a cooperation between government and the private sector. And it's the private sector that owns a lot of assets. We're talking trillions of dollars, right? The other thing that seems exceptionally clear to me is that it's the left that is in the driver's seat on that. Now, normally, the left and fascism don't mix, which is why I like to use the term authoritarian, right? So that's what I think is going on. It's kind of us against them, but them not for ideological purposes, as if they really believe in the tenets of, let's say, things like communism, but because it is the most expedient tool that they could find to control the societies. Happen to be leftism. Okay, so I just wanted to give that explanation. That's the way that I view it. Coming full circle back then, where I was saying I don't mean this to be mean towards anybody. I think this is just their tactic. Everybody's getting socially engineered. But on the left, the way that the left is socially engineered is that they are emotionally manipulated. Everything is very highly charged. Everything is put in the strongest terms of good versus evil, and everything is existential. So you wind up with a left that operates an awful lot like the Spanish Inquisition. It has a holier-than-thou perspective. I'm right, you're wrong. There's not even a lot of explanation needed here. It's self-evident. You people are disgusting, right? This is kind of the left's position. The right is starting to absorb that now as well. That's real. The right has gotten sick and tired of being called this and that, and is becoming immune to the name calling. But it originated on the left. This sense of you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're a Nazi, and those things are all evil and deserve to be put down with the strongest sense possible. And then, oh, there we go. Let's see, how do we put those away? Yeah, there we go. Took me a little while. All right, so we want to kind of see if we can find that guy again.
Damn folk won't leave me the hell alone.
And so they're very, the people on the left, through the social engineering, are made to be... Oh, darn it. Okay, hold on, guys. I really need to make sure that we can track this guy. That's a 2-star. There was another one over here. All right, well, I'm going to continue to talk then. So they're very emotionally volatile. They're all convinced that Elon and Doge are a hostile takeover, that he's the actual president, that we're being run by an unelected person who has fascistic ideals, things like that. So because they've been put into this kind of a state, if the leftist politicians then pass the continuing resolution bill, it's going to send them over the cliff. Not only have they been set up to believe like it creates a dilemma where it's like cognitive dissonance. This happened when Obama was seen laughing and mucking it up with Trump after he was elected. The left went nuts over that. They're like, how can you be laughing with literal Hitler? Right? And it caused the issue. They began to question some things. It didn't look right. It didn't match the narrative they had been shown. Look at this. Oh my gosh, we're not on burial grounds, are we? We need to keep an eye out. So not only do you have this where it flies in the face of your own messaging to your own people, but on top of that, you have made them... Man, my horse does not look well. What's wrong, horse? I can't feed her.
Okay, girl.
But so, and then on top of that, because the way that you've socially engineered them, they're very, very volatile. In some cases, they're violent. You know, but in all cases, they are highly emotional to the point of being panicky. You know, and so it would turn your own base against you in a massive way, in a way that would not necessarily happen on the right, because that's not how we get manipulated. Okay, so that's option number one. Pass the continuing resolution and risk alienating your highly emotionally volatile base, because it goes against the narrative that you've been programming them with for months, like a couple months now, and the dangers about Elon has extended further back than that. I can't remember when this whole narrative began, but I think probably when Elon bought Twitter, because he used to be a hero of the left, and then he became a free speech activist, and he bought Twitter, and that, oh boy, that pissed off the politicians, and that's when they began sowing this narrative into their base, and now their base is absolutely nuts about Elon, right? So there's option number one. Option number two then would be, and this from what I hear is where they're leaning, option number two is to not pass the continuing resolution bill, make the government go offline, basically, not be funded. Okay, well, under that scenario, you still are going to have a bare bones government functioning. You can't not have any government at all. And so we have things set up for that. And there we go. Track. Okay. Oh boy, he spooked hard. All right. Oh, he's still running. He's got a whole herd with him. All right, we're gonna get off. We're gonna get off the horse here and see if we can approach on foot. Now that I'm tracking him. Yeah, there's this trail up ahead. Well, so it turns out that the person that runs the government, whenever it's in an unfunded state until Congress can pass funding, is the director of the, I forget what the office is called. Business management? I want to say OMB for some reason, but I think it's OBM, the Office of Business Management. And the leader of that office is a guy that perfect. He's still a 3-star. All right, good. Is a guy that was a lead contributor. He's with the Heritage Foundation. I can't think of his name right now. And he was a lead contributor to what's known as Project 2025. Project 2025 absolutely terrified the left. They used this on the campaign trail during the run-up to the presidency. They are scared to death of Project 2025. It was so bad. There are some things in there that are so, I guess, on the nose that even Trump had to come out and say, like, hey, look, I don't know about Project 2025. That's not my plan. That is somebody else's plan. My plan is on this website over here, which was true. That was all true.
Okay.
But this guy helped build Project 2025. Now, what I have seen of Project 2025 as a conservative and a hard conservative, like I'm not center right, whatever you want to call it, far right. If you're equating far right with Nazism, I'm not a Nazi. That's ridiculous. But I am a strong conservative, like hard in the paint. Have always been. And the stuff that I've seen of Project 2025 looks pretty good to me. So I would have to see what the specific complaints are and whether or not I agree with those or not. But I know that the left raised hell over that. It really terrified them.
Idiot.
I don't know if terrified is the right word. It's like they were a certain degree of apoplectic. I think that's how to pronounce it. But almost more like aghast, like jaws on the floor, because their rhetoric was like, holy smokes, look at this. Look at what these people want to do. How can you elect this? So they're stunned and shocked, right? Oh, very much nighttime coming upon us. We're going to go down. We're going to get out of the snow. And we're going to set camp. So that's their option number 2. So just to put it all together, because I had to stop several times. Option number 1 is to pass the continuing resolution funding bill and alienate their highly emotionally volatile base who will hate them for it. That puts their careers at risk. Or option B, go ahead and put the government into a non-funded state and allow this guy that had significant input into their most hated and terrifying propositions known as I just forgot the name of it, known as Project 2025, in charge. So that it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. I don't know when they're supposed to vote on this, but I think very, very soon. Are they coming? They are coming. Weapons. Doggone it. Okay. Hey, man. I'm not even at half health. Not bad. Is that you? Sounds like it coming from over there. I'm gonna pick up my hat. All right. And the way that I understand it is that This was orchestrated. Like, we were in a position, like, I guess Mike Johnson has something to do with this. And I think I can only carry one of those pelts, guys, because it's big. I can carry plenty of the wolf's pelts, but only one elk pelt, so we'll have to come back the next time we need one. I guess Mike Johnson is the one that kind of saw all of this and kind of put them in a position. This is exactly what you want to do in chess. You want to work the board until you get your opponent into a position where they have to choose between two bad choices. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And I've heard that Ukraine was already ready to come to the peace table for talks, but now Putin has officially given his list of conditions for peace, which I don't remember what they are now. They're real basic. It's like 4 things. I know they're the same that I have seen from what Putin had to say when the whole thing first started. So nothing's changed. It's his words, denazification and demilitarization of Ukraine. That's non-negotiable. They have to stand their army down. Well, okay. You know, that's been done before when it comes to peace settlements where the loser is considered a threat still.
Yeah.
Remove their ability to wage war because they hate you. So that doesn't seem unreasonable to me. The denazification thing, I happen to agree with it. I've looked up and read about the Azov battalion. I don't think I pronounced it right. Azov battalion. Read about what they had been doing to the Donbass region for about 8 years prior to this war. And so to me, that seems reasonable. The other thing that Putin demands is that the Donbass region now be ceded to Russia. Well, that's what this whole thing started over. Is from what I understand, the Azov battalion was shelling the Donbass region, who are mostly ethnically Russian. Or is it ethnically or culturally? I don't really remember. I don't know how things split up over there. Oh. And the Donbass region, the two, I think it's territories or counties. I don't remember what they're called, but they're the two areas that make up that region. After being shelled for 8 years, finally just made a plea to Putin to intercede and absorb them into the Russian Federation. Well, Putin couldn't do it because Trump was in office. And as I understand it, Trump actually had a very frank discussion with him and told him basically all these beautiful buildings that had gold tops on them, he would bomb them, you know? And to hear Trump tell it, he says that Putin replied, "You wouldn't do that." And Trump told him, "I would. I'm not messing around. You can't do this." And so Putin wasn't willing to risk that kind of a fallout. But when Joe Biden entered office, now it's time for heads to roll. And that's exactly what happened. So the whole thing kicked off with the Donbass region asking to be folded in. Now you can look up, like, I don't remember what it's called, guys. I don't know if it's the Minsk Accords or if you have to look up the treaties or the discussions that were had with NATO. And Actually, I think that is what it is. The discussions that were had with NATO, and there's like two different reports on this. There's what Russia says, and there's what NATO says. And this is an area that I don't have all the details on. So I just barely have a grasp on like the overall kind of why there's beef. But oh no. Wait a minute. I'm thinking of something else. This actually has nothing to do with NATO. When the Soviet Union dissolved, in order for it to accept dissolution and let all of these satellite nations go and become their own countries, they had to sign a treaty. And the treaty that was signed said that should any of these nations default as a nation state, in other words, they can't fund a government or keep a government together, they can't provide a military to defend itself, then that's kind of the definition. It's not Russia's definition, it's a general definition of you are no longer a nation state. You're just a piece of land with people living on it. If you can't do those two things, you can't provide a government, can't fund it or keep one together, and you don't have a military to protect your borders, you are not a nation state. And that's called defaulting. And so the agreement was, if any of these satellite nations that split up from the former Soviet Union and became their own nation states were to default, then they would be absorbed by the Russian Federation or by Russia. And Crimea was one of the places that did that. So that's another big part. Like Ukraine believes Crimea should belong to it. But the paperwork says otherwise, right? This is, again, my understanding of it all. And so,
You better shut up that pretty mouth. Stay back.
we ain't gonna let this happen twice.
Get me off this horse! Put me down now! Sir, please help me out of here. Thank the Lord you showed up when you did. Oh, the things he said he'd do to me.
It's all right, ma'am. It's over now.
Thank you. Again.
All right. Yeah, get on out of here, boy. So that's the second demand.
Nice folks round here.
Now, the third demand is that Ukraine cannot become a part of NATO. I understand that because from what I've heard, contrary to, I think, some popular opinion, the way that I hear it is that Putin does not want Ukraine. What he wants is he wants a buffer between his border and Western civilization nations. He does not like our culture. He believes we are going in an insane, crazy direction. And he doesn't want to share borders because that stuff has a tendency to bleed over.
All right, girl.
Not only through natural circumstances, but through actual social engineering and operations run by Western nations. And I think that that's absolutely true. You can look at Afghanistan and a majority Muslim nation. After being under the U.S. for a while, the side that was allied with the U.S. started flying the LGBTQ flag. That's nuts. That's so diametrically contrary to their broader culture. And that's social engineering or coercion or whatever you want to call it, bribery or wanting to keep the peace, adopt Western values, and Western values revolves around that kind of stuff. And then you throw the transgenderism thing in there, and Russia looks at all this and says, you guys have decided to commit suicide culturally, and I don't want any of that poison near me. And so it's not that he wants Ukraine, it's that he wants a buffer space between Russia and NATO. And so what's left of Ukraine, minus the Donbass region that he's saying will become Russia now, has to not be NATO. And that's a stance that he's held from the very beginning. He hasn't shifted his positions at all. The fourth thing, I don't remember what it was. It just eludes me right now. I can't recall. But what I can tell you is that my at least knee-jerk surface level reaction to all of this is that sounds pretty reasonable to me. Now, I don't think Ukraine is going to find it to be reasonable, so we're going to have negotiations happening here. One thing that it doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand this. And I have only heard this from somebody else, like an actual person in my life. I didn't get it off of news or a podcast or anything like that. So I haven't verified it. But that person told me that the word on the street was, or the latest development, was that Putin said he would sign a peace deal, but not a ceasefire. And I'm not quite sure how you get one without the other. Perhaps he is thinking in terms of the war would be officially declared over, but Russian troops would still have to go through Ukraine and demilitarize it. And so you still have the potential for fighting, so there's not a ceasefire yet. That's about the only thing I can come up with. So that's something I want to get. I want to get more understanding on that. Oh, doggone it. Tell me which way you want me to go. And I figure that I will have better clarity on that in the first half of next week. For me, tomorrow is Friday. My Friday episodes usually don't have a whole lot of breaking news for the people I listen to. And then, of course, you have the weekend, and the news cycle just seems to kind of calm down on weekends. So I'm expecting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week is when we'll get more light shed on this possible peace deal that's been a long time coming, so that Ukrainians, not talking about the government, but the actual civilian and military population, at this point in time, the civilian population is the military population. They're conscripting people on the street. There's videos of mothers crying as their sons get ripped away from them and thrown into vans, paddy wagons, to go be forcibly enlisted. Not surprising, and I'm not necessarily throwing shade at Ukraine for that. It's just their situation is dire and desperate. And this is what happens when you need bodies.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, they're just getting obliterated by Russia, and it's a meat grinder, and there's a lot of people dying, and it's been happening this way for years and years and years now. I say years and years and years. It's not like it's a 20-year war, right? But I felt like this thing should have been over a long time ago. But then the sources I was listening to ran contrary to popular opinion. The sources I listened to said Russia was crushing them, and Russia's got different tactics than America. America does shock and awe. Russia does more of what's called like a cauldron. They surround you and basically place you under siege. So they want to control you and then just kind of starve you out. And everybody was saying that Ukraine was just obliterating Russia. Well, I was hearing the opposite. And really, the only way that Ukraine has been able to stay in this at all is that the West has just thrown trillions and trillions of dollars in equipment at them to keep them in the fight. Well, all of that's drying up now. So if Ukraine needed trillions and trillions of dollars worth of money, worth of financing and equipment, just to kind of be able to lengthen the war, not even really get in a position where they were winning it, but just to be in a position where they didn't have to surrender. What are they going to be? How do they match up as people begin to just stop paying them? America being a major contributor to that effort, and that well has dried up. No Moss. New sheriff in town, right? And you saw how fast they capitulated. It was days. Within days of Trump saying, we're not financing you anymore. Ukraine gave up, waved the white flag almost immediately. That shows you, if it's just Ukraine standing on their own legs, this isn't anywhere close to competitive. And so maybe that's an of course statement, but typically what you're hoping for as an ally who's trying to keep another nation in it is that they can punch with their opponents. They just need a little bit of help, and that doesn't strike me as being the case here. The case here is that Ukraine needed everybody else to do everything else. Except provide the manpower, which Ukraine did themselves, but now they're out of that. You know, they've had a foreign legion that they've been hiring for a real long time now. So I'm excited to see things kind of winding down there, it looks like, and hopefully for the sake of the Ukrainian people, for this thing to get resolved. Restores health, fortifies slightly. Okay, I don't want to look at this. I want to open my satchel. We need to fill up on stuff. I need to look at my tonics. Oh, we're doing better than I thought. It's my horse that's in trouble. Okay, where's my horse stuff? Deadeye experience, wow. Sure. I'll drink that. Let's get off the road. Oh, that's why my horse is acting like that. My horse is totally dogged out. Really hurting. Horse reviver. From severe injury and moderately restores... Yeah, let's... Okay, hold on. How do I give this to you? Move saddle, show info, brush feed, pat, flee. Oh, that's horse cargo. Tonics in here? Yeah. Horse medicine. Fully restores his health. How do I use it? I just see discard. Hold on, let me... What about left trigger? No. Maybe I have to equip it. So here's horse. Potent horse stimulant, restores horse stamina and fortifies moderately. Fully restore health.
Oh, I'm sorry, girl.
Didn't seem to do anything. Revives horse from severe injury.
Easy there, girl.
Okay. How are we doing? That looked like it did something. Then give her one of these.
Good girl.
Give her another health one. She looks like she's doing real bad. Can I feed you now? Maybe you need to be fed. Oh, that helped. Yep.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. Doing a lot better now. Sorry I let you go that long. Hurting that bad, man. I feel pretty bad. Okay. I didn't really recognize what was happening. You saw me earlier in the video where I'm like, why does my horse look like she's hurt, you know? Alright, well, learned something there. That's good. So yeah, I don't think Ukraine is going to like these conditions. To me, these conditions seem absolutely reasonable, but I'm not an expert on the subject. But I don't know that Ukraine has a whole lot of choice. You know, Europe talks a big game, but you saw what happened. Zelensky got kicked out of the White House. Had a lot of sass about it afterwards. Zelensky did. Went to England and told them what he needed, and England said, they basically, from what I understand, they laughed at him and said, yeah, you're not getting that. You're not getting anything close to that. And so that's when Zelensky did the mea culpa. So it just seems to be an inevitability to me. That's why I'm predicting we'll know a lot more by Wednesday of next week, probably earlier than that. And I think that's all I can think of. I haven't really had time to check out much news today, so if other big stuff came out today, where I would normally be aware of that by now, because it's nighttime, it's late evening, I am not up to speed. Man,
Who's out there?
she seems to...
Glad to see you in one piece.
Talking about Black Beauty here, or Black Velvet, she seems to have more pep in her step. She's a little bit slower now, but a minute ago her trot seemed kind of fast.
Yeah.
Okay, white means we're getting kind of low, so we need to get food.
Arthur! Are you busy, Arthur?
Yes. I am busy. So, next episode, which will be Monday's episode, we are probably going to have to go do some hunting.
Can I talk to you
Well,
for a minute? Sure.
I do have wolf meat on me now. We're going to donate and see how we're doing.
Women voting. They'll never allow that. You're a
Morning,
sweet
Arthur.
girl.
Bring me something soon.
Oh, wait a minute.
You don't strike me as
Actually,
rude.
I'll come to do with a few improvements.
Upgrades.
We have it awful.
So I have to donate the pelt first.
No, it's clean.
Thank you, Mr. Pierce. Haven't received anything from you in a while, Mr. Morgan.
Wolf heart,
It is like that.
elk antler.
Now this I can work with.
Go ahead and donate all of the meat and the fat.
Might as well
The
make
big
some
game
money.
meat.
Well,
Yeah.
This'll help the stew.
okay.
Okay, we're good. We're good. It's yellow. Here's our perfect elk pelt.
Oh, yes. I'll be able to make you something out of this.
And you can have all three of those. Okay, now
job,
we
Mr.
go to
Morgan.
crafting.
How are you on space in that bag of yours, Mr. Morgan?
And there we
Let me
go.
know if you need me to make you a new one.
Recipe. Right stick. Increases the carrying capacity for all types of tonics.
My items
From
are
shop
one of a
bot
kind,
to
Mr.
crafted versions. Okay, so does that kind of like meld with this one? I would imagine it does. These are like upgrades that stack together eventually, and then you can make this one. Okay, so the other one that needed a perfect elk pelt was this one right here, the kit satchel. And what else do I need? I need
I'll
a
some more
panther
materials
pelt.
Before I can make something like that.
All right.
I won't be able to make that for you without more materials.
Can we eat? It's being prepared. Okay. Man, guys, did I ever make camp? I don't think I did. I think I killed those wolves and then we just rode through the night. Yeah, Arthur's gonna need some coffee. We're gonna save it right here. That's gonna conclude Friday's episode. TGIF, everybody. I know I normally say that at the beginning, but I hope you have a great weekend. Again, I'm Aesop Grimm. Thanks for coming by the channel. I hope you like what you saw, and more importantly, I hope all is well in your neck of the woods. Let's go ahead and save it. We'll overwrite from 41. Well, we're at 41.1%. Okay. All right, guys. See you in the next episode.